up this morning, I crawled out of my bed. My back was really aching, my eyes were cherry red. It's just the morning after, I don't remember who was here. I'll eat a slice of that cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer. I got that not so fresh feeling from my head down to my toes. I think I had a good time, heaven only knows. It's just the morning after. Lord, it's funky up in here. Help me now, yeah. I'll eat a slice of cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer. Yeah, you got it now, hey.
Yeah, you got it now. Hey, welcome everybody to the morning after. I'm JP, and that's Big Joe. How you doing, Big Joe?
Was a funky up in here.
Ooh, funky up in here. We need to get a new version of our theme song before we get sued.
You know what? I mean, are those who does that? The funky Sapphire ladies? Something
Yes,
like that.
that's it. Sapphire Sisters, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Maybe we could get our guests that we've had this past year to get together. Most of them are musicians, and they come to the studio and re-record it for us.
That would be a great idea. We have a lot of musician friends. You're a musician. I'm a musician. Maybe we could even contribute. Although I'd feel a little weird getting my fingers and dipping my fingers into my own pie like that. Your face changed when I said dipping fingers into pie.
I was gonna say, do you have an OnlyFans? Because I'd pay to watch that.
Would you date me if I had an OnlyFans?
No, but I would try to get a discount anyways.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Let me just pay half off on that OnlyFans, and then you know what? We're just in two different parts of our lives right now, and I'll pay you half.
Okay, but you wouldn't be against it though, right?
No, as long as you don't charge more than Netflix, I think we're good.
There's a lot of people that go around saying, "Oh, I don't know if I'd date somebody if they had an OnlyFans." And I think the big question is that everyone asks them is, would someone with an OnlyFans date you? Which is probably not.
No, that's a great way of putting it. I think with today's culture, I think about this with even like actors, movie stars, the sex tape or the nudes that go out. It's kind of not a shocker anymore. I mean, it's kind of like, all right, everyone knows about Pornhub now. It's not some dark secret, and now everybody has an OnlyFans. I'm just like, that's not a shock. Okay, yeah, no, I knew the girl from Starbucks had an OnlyFans. So I go to that Starbucks.
Is that true? Which Starbucks is this, by the way?
The one in Disneyland.
Okay. The one in Disneyland. I hate those Starbucks in Disneyland. The lines, just like everywhere in Disneyland, the lines are long and I don't get a partner discount. When I worked at Starbucks, you get discounts in Starbucks throughout the land, but not the one in Disneyland. No. That's a franchise. And I go, oh, shit. Useless. I just waited in line for 40 minutes for an iced coffee and I don't even get a discount on it.
Yeah.
But
bring your own coffee in.
Let's not start the show with my complaining. Welcome everybody. It is Friday. Thank you for joining us. We've got Matt Sting today on the broadcast from the Barcast with Matt Sting. Until we get sound effects, you get them from me and Joe. But anyway, it's a great podcast. We'll talk about it with him when he pops on pretty soon here. It's been quite an eventful week, to put it lightly. You asked me right before we went on, are we going to talk about John Schaefer? Are we going to talk about John Schaefer? Yeah, I don't know. I want to. I was a big Iced Earth fan for a little while there. One of the first big rowdy underground metal shows I had ever been to was Iced Earth back in, God, I don't know, whenever Horror Show came out.
That was 99, I believe.
Something like that, 2099. For those who don't know, the guy from Iced Earth, John Schaefer, he helped storm the Capitol building.
They got pictures of him doing it.
Yeah, oh, he was proud of it.
How are you going to get fired on your day off? I don't know.
Yeah.
They say they got me on camera stealing boxes. Sorry.
Well, he's the FBI are looking for him. That's a real thing. I don't know if it's the FBI or the local DC police, but they're fucking looking for him.
There's reward money going out for like information on the whereabouts and who these people are.
No way. I wonder if one of his bandmates will rat him out.
Well, it's funny because everyone's like, if you know who this is, you know, there's that flyer and it says $1,000 reward. Like, how many people, like, when I'm like, I know who that is, and like call that number, that's fucking John Schaefer of Iced Earth, and like,
wow, I didn't see that there was a reward.
Yeah, if you blabbermouth on the picture,
Okay.
halfway down where you could like zoom in, it'll show everybody's picture, but it's a collage at first. It's like $1,000 reward for information leading to.
Wow.
You know, and
Wow.
what's really funny is the singer that he keeps partnering up with, Matt Barlow, is a police officer.
Yeah, and
You
he
know-
was like a homicide detective too at one point or something like that, wasn't
Yeah, I think he left to go pursue that, and they actually
Yeah.
just worked on something. They released some sort of holiday album not too long ago. It wasn't an Iced Earth thing. Actually, I heard it because I don't like holiday music, and
Right.
I don't like renditions of holiday music, and I don't want, you know, but their stuff was actually kind of cool.
What about Run DMC, Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens?
I've never heard of that.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Don't. Have you heard of the group of rappers Run DMC?
I've heard of Run DMC.
Yes, they have a very famous Christmas song, and it's
Okay.
pretty much unavoidable at this point. You will hear it every Christmas, and you have heard it. I know you
Okay,
have. Maybe
all right,
maybe you
I'll-
just you haven't put it together. But that is a
That's it.
jam. I always bump that one.
All right.
You know, it's not traditional Christmas music. It's Run DMC, but I still bump that. Boy, I got off track there. I started talking about Run DMC.
We're talking about Christmas music, and we should be past that already.
We were talking about the Iced Earth holiday record, covering all the classics.
But you know, but that hurts though when dude, like I'm a huge Iced Earth fan too. And actually, funny enough, I saw Iced Earth and Children of Bodom opened, and that kind of links together.
Yeah. What a week.
You know,
Yeah, what a week. Have you been listening to Iced Earth lately though? Because I found like everything they've done since like 2000 or since Horror Show, I'll say it, has pretty much sounded exactly the goddamn same. So I kind of lost interest in Iced Earth over the years, and I'm not trying to say like I'm not trying to separate myself from the situation, but I don't know, man. I haven't been like a huge fan of what they've been doing, and plus their imagery has been kind of bumming me out. And then now this yesterday, what a
that sucks.
Wiping
you know,
my
when the
hands of
people, when people you like or people that you used to look up to, I had the same problem with Pantera. You know, with all the stuff that Phil's said and done over the years. I'm like, dude, I used to fucking like you guys, and then you get to find out, you know, look in the lives of other people, you know, and like same thing with Iced Earth. Like I'm doing it again. I'm like, fuck, don't know your heroes. You know, can
It's
you
hard-
separate the art and the person? You know, like
it was much easier to do that 20 years ago, before obviously, you know, before social media. This is a point that many people have made. You know, pre-social media, you didn't know about your heroes. You occasionally you'd hear like who's the Buddy Rich, the drummer, the famous drummer. He had a tape come out sometime in the early 90s or the 80s or something, and one of his band members recorded him just going off in the tour bus on the whole band. It's fucking crazy. He goes like, as they say, scorched earth or whatever on his fucking bandmates, and he's going nuts on them. He's calling them clams and shit like that. Yeah, you know, jazz terms. Calling them clams, and but like nobody nowadays, that tape would have been uploaded to Twitter like within the hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But back then it took some doing. You had to compile all the tapes together onto one tape and then distribute that actual physical tape out to places, you know? So it was much, much harder to know your heroes back in the day than it is now. You know, you can film somebody saying something idiotic and, like I said, have it up on Twitter later that day. So got to be careful with what you do, or just try not to do stupid shit. You could try that.
You know, realize that you are in the public eye in some sort of sense, you know, and don't be a dick, you know. Maybe act like you've been there before, or maybe just treat people how you want to be treated.
Yes.
I don't know. Is Donald Trump really that cool of a dude that you want to storm a federal building?
Yeah, I mean, think of all the reasons to storm the Capitol, and you're doing it because of something he said. No, I don't want to make this a political show, but here we go. We're doing it. We're doing it. Folks, so anyways, we love you. Thanks for watching.
Lars is the best drummer ever, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about something far more controversial. Lars, great drummer. Don't understand all the flack he gets. He goes ba-da boom on all the good first 4 Metallica records. So all right, everybody, cut him some fucking slack. Even though I've heard things like they've had to piece his drums together, like piece by piece. But
piece by piece. You know, that's Slayer.
Piece by piece. Oh man, don't get me started. This could be a whole weird right-wing metal
there you go.
episode.
It could be.
But it's not that kind of show. So let's
you're right, that's my fault.
Why? Because you're rocking the American flag?
Well, I know. This is an Iron Maiden shirt too. It's yeah. It's funny too because when I saw this was the last time Maiden came around, and Bruce Dickinson was really talking about like Oakland. He's like, "Hey, I smell that weed on you guys, buddy. Like, you guys even there?" And he was like, kind of like talking backhanded to us a little bit. And it was clever. It was witty. It was like maybe English humor too, but I mean, it wasn't like you guys are a bunch of idiots. You know, like I was laughing. I was like, "Oh, dude, he just clowned on all of us." You know, like he goes, "Hey, if you guys aren't too baked, you know, this is like the Klansmen and not like the KKK, you know, type of thing." And you know, not spelt with a K. You know, he was being witty and smart and kind of playing on like everyone's too stoned to probably get what I'm saying right now. So let's say some stuff up there.
He was having a little fun. I don't.
He was, and he was.
It doesn't sound too bad.
It wasn't like I thought it was hilarious. You know, but it's something he definitely. Hey, if you guys aren't too stoned, you know, fucking get onto this. You know.
You know, we're not on fucking crack, okay? Like we're not blacked out drunk. Well, some of us are blacked out drunk, but we're not on crack, okay?
All right.
Yeah, you know, he's just having some fun. It's probably the 80 billionth show on that tour, and he's like,
right.
I'm tired of the weed smell, as if it was maybe his grandpa's first joint or something like that. Come on, he's smelled it before.
Exactly. Well, anywhere you go in the United States, people are still smoking in venues, but California, it wasn't even recently. It was how long it's been since it's been legalized? We're going on a couple years now.
Yeah.
It's not like it just happened and then boom, the Oakland Arena is packed with marijuana. No, the Oakland Arena has always been packed with marijuana smoke.
Isn't that crazy too? That unspoken rule that like, okay, because back in the 90s when I first started getting high, or, you know, the late 90s or whatever, if you even like had a little bit, just the tiniest bit of weed like in your possession, and like somebody rang the doorbell in your house, it was like put it away, and then you fucking you know, but like so you know, getting I lost my train of thought there. I got so excited about
hiding the little nug of weed.
Hiding the little nug of weed. But
you know, there's this great show on Hulu right now. It's called Pen 15.
Oh, I want to see that.
Now, there's some cringy moments where I'm like, why the fuck am I watching it? But the funniest part is it's a total throwback of the mid to late 90s. And one thing that, you know, me working in the restaurant business and working with high school kids and training high school kids, my favorite thing to tell them is like, dude, we used to have to call the internet. And we had to share the phone line. And if grandma called the house to talk to my mom, I got booted off the internet. You know, and then All right, I'm done. Thank you. And then we'd go home from school, call the internet, just to text with our friends on AIM. And they had an episode where they're straight doing that and trying to pick out a name, and it's already used.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
They're like,
AIM,
hey,
too.
ASL. Oh, dude, it's pretty fucking funny. And they have moments like a little nug of weed, like you smoke, or they found a cigarette and they're like, you do it, no, you do it, and
I forgot why I brought that up in the first place, but yes, it was a fucking very scary thing.
It was.
Yeah, I
remember those days. Do you remember the times?
So we've got some people showing up here. Good morning, Bill. How's it going, bro? Now here's something special.
Uh-oh.
Want to become famous?
Ooh.
Yeah. If anybody here watching, follow this link. Should be okay.
Yeah,
right?
Go ahead and click it. Bigfollows.com. I just want to know how to make the little cool buttons on my letters like that.
Yeah, how do they do that? That's I don't like this one over the O in followers. It's not like an umlaut, but it's like an inya. It's like a whoop.
That's over the O's and follow. That looks like over the F for mine. It looks like a Facebook F with a little line.
Look at this. So anyway, if you're watching today, and if
click
you want
that
to
shit,
become,
let us know.
Yeah. If you want to become famous, I don't know if it's clickable, but you can definitely follow the link. Should be
definitely
fun.
Let them know the morning after sent you, and it's going to give you probably some more followers. Oh, we got another one.
We got another one. Looks like sort of a similar message. They're saying want to become famous. So yeah, I definitely do. I'm going to write this link down. So
you know what it is? It's we're talking about certain things, and it's probably Big Brother checking in on us. Hey, throw a couple bots in there and act like they're advertising shit, but they're listening to us now, dude.
Oh, you think?
So you better put that shit away.
You think we're that big?
Well, the Patriot Act, you're talking about certain things, and then the second you make certain John Schaefer and the word marijuana pops up, boom, agents up in our room.
Okay.
Like check that Bill Garrett. I bet you that fool is up Ed.
The accusation has been put forth. What do we got here? What is this? Shazbot's now Shazbot's dropping funny links on us. Lingojam.com fancy text generator.
One thing I've definitely learned with the
look at this. What are these languages? He's able to write herp derp in three different
languages. Like one's Martian,
yeah.
One's Valencian.
Okay. I'm learning a couple things here. Here's hi Coach Floor. If you have international keyboards and you click down on letter, that F symbol is in Arabic. Oh man, Coach Floor, I'm so glad you watch because we often ask questions and that we don't know the answer to, and then pow.
Like I got these bumps, Coach Floor, and I really don't know what to do. Can you call me after the show?
Yeah, I've got an itching sort of on my side. I don't know if it's from like a wool shirt that I wore, or maybe my dog got dirty and like rubbed up against me. Anyway,
I think I got it from a toilet seat. Yeah.
Is that true? Can that happen?
I don't think it can.
I always heard those things back in the day, like, oh, you can get the VD from the toilet seat. Probably, right?
I think they just say that so you're like, yeah, I got it from a toilet seat, so you admit to knowing that you have it, but you can't get it.
Let me tell you, it would have never happened to me because when I see a toilet seat, I am like fucking Mr. Clean on that thing. I become a clean freak. I will wet the tissue paper. I will clean it. I'm fucking all over that thing. I am not. In the terrible, unfortunate event where I have to use a bathroom for number 2 in public, I am fucking deep cleaning that thing like it was COVID before COVID.
Right? No, I would get all the paper towels and then put hella soap in there and mix it all together and throw hot water and get more towels. They're like, yeah, what the fuck? Get out of here. And someone leave, then you really clean it up.
Yeah.
Go back, get dry ones and clean it, and then go back to go throw it away and someone walks in and uses it. Like,
yeah. Right, the gas station attendant goes in and goes, "Oh my God, it's fucking pristine in here. Thank you."
Pay me.
Yeah, well, I did take 45 minutes in there, but it's nice and clean. So, all
I
right.
need new underwear after that point too.
Now that we've talked about a bunch of awkward,
we're covering
subjects,
it today, man.
Like John Schaefer and pooping. let's. What do you say we bring on our guest? He's here. He's ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to bring in the man. He's from the Barcast. Now, this is an interesting idea for a podcast. Of course, he's interviewing people, but, well, of course, we'll talk more about it with him. But I find it very interesting that he interviews, I don't want to say regular people, but because they're all very interesting, and every person is very interesting in their own right. But like he interviewed like an ER worker. You know what I mean? Not somebody that has like an album coming out or something, but like an ER worker. You know, or like it's just very interesting. How there's so much in just regular people, but we don't know that because we don't interview them, right?
I like it. I like that you keep saying regular people because these people are his regulars at his bar.
Oh, so it's actually a fitting description of it.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, without further ado, I sort of stumbled on my intro there a little bit. I sort of rambled off, but I just wanted to talk about how much I actually just am fascinated by the podcast itself. So let's bring him on without further ado. It's Matt Sting from the Barcast. What's up, Matt?
What's up, Vatos?
Hey,
oh my God, beautiful! Listen to that audio, so clear. You can tell my man does a podcast.
Two of us have real mics in the show.
Yeah. Ooh, calling you out, Big Joe. Hey. Oh.
Do you remember
What is that, pliers?
Yeah.
Yeah, why do you have those so readily available?
You know what? Honestly, I'm not a tool guy. This is the only tool that I own, and it's the clip bass strings.
Fair enough.
Okay.
That's
Well,
Gotta get the thick ones.
Yeah.
Nail clippers don't work for bass strings.
Well, they work as nail clippers too. You just got to be real careful.
Gotta grow your nail
that's-
stick, dude.
that's
Plenty of milk.
rugged, man. Look at that. Well, hey, Matt, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us today on a Friday morning. So
Thanks for
let's
having
get
me.
right into it, man. How did you get started doing this podcast? I know it was about 6 months ago. We kind of started up at the same time, the morning after, and the Barcast. We sort of lead a parallel podcast quarantine sort of timeline. So how did you get started, and what made you want to interview the people that you interview?
So it's interesting that we apparently started the shows at similar times. The whole thing started with our bar like voluntarily closed down to try and wait out this pandemic shit, and so we shut down for 2 months to try and just wait it out. And with all of the downtime, I decided I was going to do a podcast. It was something like I talked about, and everybody, if you listen to Joe Rogan, he's start a fucking podcast. He tells everybody to start a podcast, and so I talked about it, and I was kind of running the idea past a few people, and it's just something I threw out a bunch, and then I got enough people to say, yeah, you should do that. It actually sounds really interesting, that I just did it. And I started off with a laptop and like a couple of USB mics, so the quality's pretty bad. Plus, I have no idea what I'm doing as far as audio stuff goes. Like, I actually don't play in a band, unlike you guys, so I didn't know what an XLR mic was. I didn't know what an audio interface was or any of that garbage, so it took me a while to figure it out. But the whole idea is kind of like what you touched on in the beginning, is I meet so many neat and fascinating people at the bar and I have so many interesting conversations, and I learn so much from these people. Some other people may or may not want to hear those conversations, was kind of the idea. And it started with that as the principle, and then it's kind of turned into like there are a lot of interesting people in my life. And then the thing that you really touched on was like every single person is interesting if you talk to them. And it's just, like you said, they're just regular people. Like, I'm just a dude that works at a bar. Sam's just a lady who works in the ER, and Nizam's just an architect. And like all these people have something interesting to say. You just sit down and talk to someone for an hour or two, and
Yeah,
it's just a good time, man.
So I just listened to your latest episode with Nizam, as you
Mhm.
just mentioned. He's a guy from Bangladesh.
Mm-hmm.
He's got stories for days, man. There's a part in there where he's talking about like a tiger, like there's like a tiger attack
Into
like,
a tiger.
yeah, and like and when so you worked at a bar, right? That's how it worked? Like you worked at a bar, and then at a certain point, like everyone's telling you stories, you're hearing all sorts of is it like every bartender's dream to be like, I wish I had a show, or I wish I had a way to bring these people's stories out, because it's very interesting what you're doing, because these are regular people. You hear them talk to you at the bar, stories, but then like you've actually put it in a jar, and it's very, very interesting. Nobody does that.
Well, that's good to hear. When I went to like call it the Barcast, turns out there's like 5 other podcasts called Barcast, so I had to throw my name in there.
Okay.
I don't
that's
know
what we did too.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
There's plenty of morning afters, trust me.
Put a personal touch on it. I don't know if other people want to do it. And the funny thing about podcasts is like, if you want to do it, just do it. It doesn't take a lot to start. But I have a good time with it, man. And it's the way that I look at it is like, I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy the meaningful conversations that I consistently have. And if one day it takes off and, makes a couple dollars, that's great. In the meantime, I just do it for fun, and it's cost me a bunch of money, but it's just an entertaining hobby.
I relate to that.
Do you find it easier to converse with people with the aid of alcohol? Do you find that people are more receptive to your questions? And we'll open up a little more after a few beers. And is that why you do it?
Well, yes, and then no. I am not an outgoing. I am an outgoing dude, but as far as like meaningful conversations and personal things, it's like my greatest weakness. It's not how I was raised. We don't talk about feelings. You don't discuss things. You just, okay, next song, and we'll never talk about this again. So in trying to become a better person as I get older, it's something that I've wanted to work on, and then alcohol absolutely helps me with that. And it's not a necessity, but it certainly helps, like lube the gears.
Right.
And when I have people on the show, I always ask, like, what's your drink of choice? I'll make you a couple cocktails, or if you don't want to drink, you don't have to drink. And a few people have been sober on the show. Greg Daniel, he was my, old guy. It was hilarious. I love that guy. He's fun to talk to. I didn't even know he was sober until we sat down for the podcast, and I asked him, hey, what do you want to drink? Doesn't drink. Not anymore. And we didn't even get to why. Like, he used to drink, and he tells stories about when he's going to some bar in the Philippines, and it's not a necessity. It does help me relax a bit, and then sometimes we get a little wild with it, but no, you don't have to. It's just people having conversations. But do you? That's what I tell people.
Does it get a little heavy sometimes? The alcohol and these conversations can get a little deep. Does it get a little heavy? I actually your interview with Sam, the ER worker. Honestly, just I felt so much dread, like listening to that episode, because it's just such a not dread, but what she does is such a scary thing, right? Like, she's an ER worker, and I could never ever do that. And so, like, hear the stories of someone who's become so numb to what she does. I felt very like it gave me a very uneasy feeling. But I was glued to it. It was very, very interesting. But
blood and disease and shit and death is not something that is appealing to me either.
Yeah,
but $1,000 an hour, I don't want to do it.
But these conversations, they get there. You know what I mean? And
sure.
Like, does it ever get a little heavy? Do you ever feel like, "Whoa, I need a break"? Can we talk about something else?
I don't know. No is the answer, and I don't know if that's. I think that's a good thing as far as me doing these conversations goes. And it always goes the same way when I invite someone on the podcast. Do you want to be on the podcast? They go, sure, yes or no. But everyone does the same thing. They go, I don't know why you want me on the show. I'm not interesting. And and then they go, well, what is it? What are we going to talk about? And I specifically don't plan anything out. I just want to sit down with people, and however it goes is how it goes. And sometimes I think they're going to be funny and they turn out serious, and sometimes I think they're going to be serious and they turn out sad. And I just sit down, and however it goes, it goes. And just, it's difficult to do it that way sometimes, but I've learned to, be a little bit better in maintaining a conversation. But that is also kind of what makes it special for me, because I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, you in the back, you have a question?
You know what I really like about the show? It's almost like, because, I used to be, I don't want to say a member of Matt's bar, but I did frequent Matt's bar quite a bit.
Sure.
And what I like about the show is, I know a lot of people that are coming on to this and it's almost like you're still at the bar, and these are stories that you would be hearing anyways, but you're just isolating. All the same things
Right.
are going on. It's just isolating between the two different people. So I don't know. I think the booze kind of goes along with it. You know, I mean, not that I would
Sure.
go in there and drink. You know, I'd probably go in there and tell some stories. You know, about trying to bounce people out of your bar. You know, or doing some stupid things. You know,
Or play Mario Kart, man.
and that's actually been one of the. I was going before it locked down on Sundays,
Mhm.
and the favorite thing about playing Mario Kart is I hadn't played in a long time. I go in there and I'm crushing it, and I totally forget. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking stone cold sober, and all these guys are hammered. That's why I'm crushing it right now.
Yeah, that gives you a bit of a handicap, but
No,
Yeah,
but I really enjoy the show.
thanks, man. It's a fun thing to do, and it is interesting. And like I said, I wanted to call it the Barcast because I originally was doing it exclusively in the bar when it was closed, and then I had to kind of relocate when the bar reopened, and now bar is closing early, so I can do it at the bar again afterwards sometimes. But it's, I try to have it be as little about me as possible, but I try and like sprinkle in a story or a thing here or there. But kind of the idea is I get to do this all the time, but I now get to do it on a more deeper, more personal level. And if I could put a bar top in between us and have the conversation, I think that'd be cool too. But we both just sit on the corner and just kind of hang out. And I try and edit very, very, very little, little to none, because I don't want it to be a perfect, stream seamless thing. Like, it's just two dudes sitting down having a talk, and sometimes you blunder and sometimes you fumble, and sometimes you got to get up and refill a pint. So that's how that goes.
Absolutely, yeah. I've noticed that it's a very conversational sort of show. It's not so much question and answer kind of thing.
Sure.
And I think it's very cool that you've I keep saying regular people, but you take these regular people who say, "Oh, I'm not interesting. Why do you want to interview me?" Then you make a podcast with them, and then they get to go, "Wow, I am interesting." Like,
I love it, man. I love it.
Like, it's because maybe for Nissam, maybe it's the one time he's going to be on a podcast in his life or whatever, but like, he got to tell his story on there. I think it's a very, very cool thing. And you have episodes where it's just you, where it's just just Matt, no guests.
I like doing those too. It's much more
what is
difficult.
what is that like? What's your process there? Are you at home, or do you go to the bar for those ones, or what?
Well, I've only done two. The first one I was at my workshop, and then the second one I was at my house. And the first one was out of necessity because I'd recorded a podcast, and my equipment exploded. Is when I had my USB mics and whatnot, and so I lost like half of the podcast, and the half that remained didn't make any sense. It all went to shit. So I emergency sat down, slammed a couple of beers, and was like, I got to talk to myself. So I wrote down like 4 talking points. I was like, cars, my theory on death, and being happy. And I was like, ready, go. And I was actually like kind of proud of myself. I didn't know how that was going to go.
That
And
was
then-
a fun one. The first
Those are
one.
3
I haven't-
subjects you can expand upon. Those ones. Those are.
Yeah, I think I did like 45 minutes, and I didn't think anyone was gonna give a shit about it, so I didn't like post it or any of that. And then I actually got pretty good feedback, so it's like I like doing it, and it got decent feedback. So I'd like to do more of them, but the show's not about me, so I just want to sprinkle one in here every now and then,
Well, you are the lifeblood of the show.
My name's in it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I got a comment here from Shaz about the hardest I've laughed was the Barcast guest from Japan that couldn't sleep. Please tell me about this.
Oh, geez. So that was Spencer
Spencer.
Sly. Yeah. So
Spencer.
Joe, you know him. Big Spencer, man. So he's a dude that I met through my older brother because they're in the same grade. And I remember him as a kid. His big thing was he would just smoke a ton of weed and then play Nintendo or video games. Like, I remember we were playing, I want to say it was, what's the fucking one with the fog? Silent Hill. And we got to some part where you had to put in a 4-digit code or 3-digit code. And we didn't actually remember or do the part where you're supposed to find the numbers. And so Spencer just sat down and like traditionally hacked it. He went 0001, 0002, 0003. And we just left. We're like, all right, dude, you can do this. We're going to go do anything else. And we came back like 4 hours later. He was like, I got it. So anyways, that guy had a situation where he couldn't sleep because he had hiccups for like 3 days or something like this, 2 or 3 days.
Damn.
Nonstop. hiccup, couldn't sleep, couldn't do nothing. Goes to the doctors and they say you have, I don't remember what it was, some sort of awful chemical in you that you're not supposed to have, not asbestos, but one of those, cancer-inducing death things. Doesn't actually give him really any information. But so he winds up going home and then doing a bunch of research. And apparently there's a nerve in your butt that is connected to your diaphragm or something. So as a last-ditch effort, he gets his poor wife to strap on a pair of gloves and shove her fingers up his butt. And apparently that relieves the hiccups enough so that this guy can take a nap.
Honey, it's nap time.
Oh, man. That poor girl.
Grab the lube.
I can't sleep again. Oh, no.
Every night you can't sleep. Why'd you get a 2,000 pack of gloves, sweetheart? Don't worry about it. But yeah, so, random personal stories like that, things like that come up. Some are funny, some are serious. It's just people talking, chopping it up. That one actually did when I was evacuated. So I was like living in a camper. So I had to like sit in a parking lot on my phone to try and get Wi-Fi to try and have that conversation, but still made it happen.
It doesn't seem like much like really shocks you, but has there been any stories where you were just like truly uncomfortable or shocked or anything? Because I've heard some crazy things.
That's a solid question. Fingers in the butt for hiccups definitely stands out there.
Yeah, that's what led me to the question.
That's pretty top tier. I don't know that there's one off the top of my head.
Right
the
there.
Part two is like, in drinking during the podcast, like I will retain, depending on the podcast, like the one with Graham, second one almost killed me genuinely. That was a horrible idea. But I'll re-listen to him the next day, and there's little bits and pieces that I don't remember. And even, I've done a couple without drinking, not very many.
Real quick,
even
is that
when
the
you
one where you guys took shots every 15 minutes?
Was so stupid.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one yet.
He's talking about an episode where him and his guest Graham took a shot every 15 minutes, and I mean, you can imagine what happens after an hour and 45. So
I think we started with 2 shots and a couple of beers prior, and then set a timer to do a shot every 15 minutes and drink beers. It was horrible, absolute mess. I blacked out like probably 45 minutes into that podcast.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, I think, a 2-hour podcast. And it's the drunkest I've ever been in my life, and I don't remember it. It's just my girlfriend telling me. I couldn't stand up. I was just sitting in the kitchen. I threw up in the kitchen sink. I don't think I've ever thrown in a sink my entire life. I'm like the most responsible puker on planet Earth. I always go to the proper place. I barfed in the sink. Graham just shoved his hand down there and just swirled it up and got it to flush away.
Oh,
that was a nightmare,
what a
dude.
good guy, man. Oh,
what a nice guy.
So that was something that I wanted to do. Mostly Graham and I came up with the idea, like, what if we just got absolutely obliterated in the podcast? How would that go? Well, it went. One's probably enough.
Was it like sort of opening a present the next morning? Like, oh, I wonder what we talked about for the last half of the podcast when I tuned out.
I woke up and my first thought was, I just hope I saved it. It's like, I don't know what happened. I don't know where it went. I don't know how long we recorded. And then I couldn't get off the couch for the whole next day. That was horrible. And then I remember re-listening to it, I was like, oh, if you guys want to join us, we're setting a timer. 100% do not do that. 0 people should do that. No one.
That's so funny.
I like the interactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very fan. What is it called? Fan.
It's trying to engage the audience,
That's it. Yes.
I bought a bottle of Crown Apple for us to do shots during the podcast, and then I don't know, maybe an hour in or something, I say something to the effect of, "We're out of Crown, so let's do shots of Scotch." And Joe's left the show.
No, I'm still here. Don't.
I'm just mostly just taking his shirt off.
He's turned into an orb.
But doing shots of Scotch is that's when you know it's bad. So
you know how if you watch Hot Ones, the host every episode eats the wings, with his guest.
Oh, sure.
Every single time. At any point, are you like, do you think at some point I might have to drink less of the alcohol as the interviews go on, just for your own health kind of thing? Are you concerned about that?
I'm not concerned about my health because I have never had an issue with drinking. I've always been able to keep it under control, which is I'm really, really grateful for. I've never had an issue with that. I have toned down my drinking throughout the podcast just so that I can stay more lucid and be a little more clear of mind. Where it started off was like, oh, this is fun, and I'm just going to have a good time and go crazy with it. And the more I do it, the less I drink on the podcast, just to keep the fog off of my mind, really.
You're like, oh, this is a little easier to do when I'm not drinking.
And I'll go through phases where I usually do it. It's like about a month a year where I just won't drink just to make sure that I can not drink. And then I'll do it on a micro scale too, like a week or two. And the only issue with the Barcast has been like it's a reason to drink every single week. So in cutting it back on, especially during the show, then I don't feel bad about it. But like I said, I'm fortunate enough to where I haven't had an issue with it, ruining or affecting my life. And sometimes I'll get a little heavy on it, but I get to see it myself. A couple months, during the early phases of the pandemic, I come home usually late at night after closing the bar, and then I play video games, and then I drink and play video games, and then I was getting up every morning and I'm like, I have to go buy more beers every day. I'm buying more beers. I'm like smashing 10, 12 beers a night. I'm like, what am I doing here? Just blowing money. So, a little hard reset there. Don't drink for a little while. Tone it down,
Yeah, moving away from the podcast, what is it like during the time that you were working at a bar during this pandemic era? How did that feel? How safe did you feel? And is your bar open right now, actually, or are they closed back down?
Barely still open.
Barely
I would say
still open.
overall, dog shit would be the way that I would describe how this has been.
Go into that, because you're talking. There's people in and out all day. Are you guys running outdoors, or what are the protocols for where you're tending bar?
So our bar's in Benicia, which is Solano County. Is there you go. Part of the conglomerate of counties that are on absolute no money to be made, no business to do. We can only do takeout, no indoor, no outdoor dining. So they shoved everything outside. We built an outdoor area, and then they allowed inside and outside at limited capacity, and now they pulled the plug on that. So we can only do stuff to go. So you can call it in, or you can show up and you can order a burger or something. We can do drinks to go, but trying to sell a beer to go for $4 isn't a real great business model. It's not what we're designed to do.
How comfortable do you feel working? Like when you were allowing indoor and outdoor for a short amount of time. How comfortable did you feel?
Pretty comfortable. I mean, if I was uncomfortable, I wouldn't have done it. Is what it comes down to. And we had stepped up our sanitation and cleanliness procedures, and I'm already a pretty. Disease is like the one thing that freaks me out. And so when this whole thing unraveled, it was like, this is it. I'm done. Like this, I don't want to go outside. You guys were talking about toilet seats earlier before I showed up, and it's like, I feel that, dude. The doorknobs are dirty. Like people's cars and stuff. Who picks their nose when they're driving? Everybody. Who cleans their fucking steering wheel? Nobody. Like these are the things that go through my head pre-pandemic. Yeah, you're not cleaning your steering wheel. Get out of here.
Got me there.
I spit on it, and thinking,
oh, that works. Yeah, that works. That's good. But yeah, I actually got it early on.
So I was going to bring that up. You mentioned that in your podcast with Sam, actually, that you had got it early. When did you get it? And tell us what that was like. Well, one of our Shazbot's asking about it too. What was it like getting the coronavirus? He knows. He knew about it. He must listen.
He's a listener.
Yeah, fair. It wasn't a secret. At first, I wasn't real keen on bringing it up because it makes you feel like a leper. You have to or it's like you got the HIV. Like you got to call everyone that you've been in contact with and like, hey man, I got this thing. You need to get checked out. But I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. Like masked up, washing my fucking hands all the time, sanitizing, not touching shit, cleaning up when I get home, and the big thing was like avoiding my parents. So my parents they're not old, but they're like mid-60s. Neither one of them is healthy. Ma's been like a lifelong smoker. Pop's had a heart attack like last year, and some other thing. He's fat as shit for most of his life. So my concern was like, if I got it and I wiped them out, like that's unacceptable. Right, so I just have been avoiding them, and not, especially in the beginning. Like I lived up by Berryessa, I wasn't seeing anybody. So I got it, and then I isolated at home for whatever it was, about 2 weeks. But my case was like not bad at all. I was getting tested. I still get tested. Now I get tested every week. But I think I was getting tested every 2 weeks at the time because it's fucking free.
Yeah.
So there's
so
zero
every week you get
excuses.
tested. And on your podcast, you mentioned that they're no longer doing the test that goes all the way stuffed up into your head,
brain
right?
swab,
It's like a little nose swab.
Yeah, they just give you a little swipe in each nostril, and that's really not bad at all.
Man, I
The
need to
brain
get that
stabbing
one.
was shit, and I'm glad that they've proceeded past that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got the brain stabbing, and then they shoot me an email and says, "Hey, you got coronavirus, so congratulations." And
Congratulations.
I didn't. Yeah, you made it. You're you top dog. So for like 5 days, I felt absolutely nothing. And then my girlfriend was like, "Well, you need to get tested, and we need to pretend like you have it." Well, she got it, and then she got symptoms. She had like a cold, like stuffy nose, headache, that kind of stuff.
It's so
She
weird
lost
how it
her sense
affects
of
people
taste.
so differently.
Yeah, she lost her sense of taste, and I had zero symptoms for 5 days after I got my results, and then on the 6th day, I had like horrible stomach cramps and pains. But like I wasn't blowing up the bathroom or nothing. It was literally just pain, like crippling pain for like a day and a half, and then about a day and a half, and then it was done.
Crippling pain.
I was like curled up in the fetal position in bed, couldn't sleep, couldn't get out of bed. But it was like a day and a half, and then that was it. And I was good after that.
Wow.
My girlfriend, she's such a fucking sweetheart. She goes, "Hey, I made breakfast, but it's not good. Like I've tried, but it is not tasty." And I go, "Okay, well, I'm just grateful you made food because I'm lazy and I hate the mornings." And it was eggs and potatoes and something else. And I fucking take a bite of these potatoes. I'm like, "Geez, these are fucking spicy potatoes." And but she just wolfs her plate down, no big deal. And so I'm like, "Oh, I'll eat some more of these eggs," and then I go back to the potatoes. I'm like, "God damn, these are spicy potatoes, dude." And then I don't want to give up. She ate all her potatoes, like unfazed, zero reaction. I go, "Dude, these potatoes are kind of spicy." And she goes, "I didn't taste it." And I'm like, I'm convinced. I'm getting through these potatoes. I go, "Dude, these are the fucking spiciest potatoes I've ever had in my life. What is going on here, dude?" Turns out she lost her sense of taste, and that's how we figured it out. She was just like adding more pepper. She's like, "I can't taste anything. I'll just put in more." And when she was done, she was like, "Yeah, it doesn't taste good. It was a good breakfast, but she put in like 700 fucking peppers."
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh my god. What a terrible way to
overall,
find out.
Yeah. Our experience is pretty good. Some people have like permanent lung damage and heart damage and all that shit.
Yeah.
But our experience was, we're pretty fortunate that we didn't get it that bad. The worst part, honestly, for us was like they, send out well, they don't send out, but they have a health official contact you, and they put you on house arrest pretty much. You can't leave your property. You can't leave your fence line at all for, until you fulfill this criteria. It's 10 days after infection and 3 days after being symptom-free, minimum of 10 days. So it turns out to be about 2 weeks usually. But we lived up by Berryessa, and it's like you can't really get groceries delivered. And so I was like, I can't get food where I live. And she's like, "Well, if you leave the house, it's a misdemeanor." I was like, "But I have to eat. What do I do?" And she's like, "I'm just saying, if you leave the fence line, it's a misdemeanor." So I had to like sneak out, and I felt like a fucking criminal. I like did grocery pickup, and then I called them when I got there, and I was like, "Can you just put it in the bed of the truck? I'm sick. Like, don't come anywhere near me." So I had like no human interaction, and then I like went back home like, "Oh God, I hope they didn't see me. I don't want to go to fucking jail." But
that was sick. You're like the fugitive, man.
I felt like a bad guy for trying to get food.
Yeah. It's amazing. Well, I'm glad you're still with us, and you seem to be
nice try,
all good. Yeah. Yeah, some people do feel some serious long-term effects. Like I've been reading things like people are getting like blood clots and stuff like that. It's really scary things, and it seems to be affecting everyone differently. So I'm glad you're still with us. Glad your girl's still with us, and that you guys are being responsible about that kind of thing. So
I think you have to be. I'm on the fence on this subject because my income last year was 50% less than my year previous. So absolute kick in the dick as far as finances go.
Yeah.
And I've had to find other work elsewhere, and I'm in the process of doing that again, just because I would like to keep my job, absolutely, but I can't sustain myself with what's going on. So on one end, I would like to be able to make some income, and it's not just me. It's like there's 15, 16 people that work at my bar alone, which is just a tiny little place.
Yeah.
And it's most of the city of Benicia is food and drink, and so many people are out of work, and these businesses are dying, and people are literally dying from the disease, and then people are figuratively dying by financial means. So like,
Yeah.
I think Thanksgiving should be fucking canceled. Christmas, don't see your no big groups, like cut the shit out. But it's frustrating because every report that I read is all private gatherings are what's spreading this, and very, very little of it is through like businesses. And so I think if you run your business responsibly and you keep people separated and you sanitize and you clean, if they come out with something that's like, hey, it's bars, you're killing everyone. Okay, fucking shut it down. But that's not what I've been reading or been told. So it's I'm in a perspective where my livelihood is being affected by this dramatically. So I think we got to be clean. I think you got to cut out the big gatherings and the big parties. We'd have no business at all having 100 people in the bar at all. But we got 3,200 square feet. Like, I can't have 10 people in there. That's 300 square feet a person.
Right, and as long as you're following the rules, the CDC type guidelines, there's really no reason to shut it down unless there is some actual proof that your small bar is some kind of super spreader location,
or outside or something. But I guess I'm frustrated with it. But I do see both sides of the coin. Like, I got it. My parents got it without me. Actually, they just recently got it.
Really?
I think I know like probably 10 people that have gotten it.
Wow.
And so, I mean, it's a thing. I've had people, fuckers. I've had people ask me if I think it's real, and I go, I got it. And I had one lady go, but do you think it's real? I go, yeah, I got it. My girlfriend got it. She's like, do you think it's real though? It's like, I can't have this conversation with you.
What do they think you might have got?
I don't know. Like I got tested, and I popped positive, and I did everything I was supposed to do. But then I went and got tested again because I was like, there's false positives and whatnot. No, I had COVID. I got it again.
Right.
So like, it's a thing. Don't say it's fake because it isn't.
Right.
There's a lot of things you can argue, but it's a little interesting when people ask me, do you believe in it? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I fucking got it.
I was there, dude. I ate the spicy potatoes. It's real.
Oh shit! Yeah, your girlfriend gave you an ulcer from spicy potatoes.
She tried, man. A for effort.
Well,
so, if you guys, I don't know what the can I segue here?
Sure. Yeah, take the wheel.
I took notes on the back of my fast track because I have this guy's money. Sort of notes. Joe, you went to Iced Earth and Bodum?
Yeah.
Was Evergrey there?
Evergrey was there.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that was my fucking first show ever.
I want to say I have pictures of you going with us.
I went with
Tim
and Jonas.
Okay. We all caravanned out there. I'm pretty sure Shazbot went with us too. Through my move, when I moved up here, I found a bunch of old pictures.
Dope.
All the ones that got buried in the way back. So like, 2000, 2003. I found like an old picture of like me and your brother partying at the H Street house back when, which is great because when I hear you guys talking or hear you talking about stories, I almost want to go like, I was there. I know what he's talking about, So, but that was out in San Francisco. And I remember his tour bus was out in the front of the Regency Ballroom.
I think that was it.
Yeah, it closed down. The tour bus was right out in front, and we saw John Schaefer. He was wearing like a Run DMC style blue jumpsuit, like the
red, white, and blue.
No, it was just blue.
Did he have his?
I thought he would be draped in the flag like a hero.
Wookiee thing.
So that was right when they had the Ripper. This wasn't the horror show. This was the album afterwards, The Glorious Burden.
Yeah, that was it. Because they did the national anthem for. I remember it was like 45 minutes, and it was horrible. I was ready to blow my brains out, dude. Like Iced Earth, I was a fucking huge fan of those guys. I still am. And then I went and saw them, and that show in particular was not good.
Yeah.
But Evergrey was tight, and Children of Bodom changed my life.
I like the first two Bodum albums actually a whole lot.
Guys, what year was that? The show?
Probably 2006, probably.
2006. Wow.
Ish.
It probably. I mean, it could have been. It was anywhere from 2003 to 2006. It was probably before that.
Had to have been before 2006.
You're right. It was after I graduated because that's when we all started hanging out, and because I remember a bunch of us met at Starbucks, and that's when we met all the kids. The
chick has OnlyFans, right?
Dude, different Starbucks.
Paying attention.
I like that. You're calling back on stuff, and it was right over my head.
So what happens when I'm sober, man? Got a fresh pint of coffee.
No, I just moved away, and I was like, "Ooh, wait, there's someone down there that got OnlyFans."
There you go.
I don't know.
I don't know anything about it.
Well, I know you got one. I've seen it.
Wait,
so you brought it up earlier, talking about, is it acceptable for someone to have an OnlyFans? Dude, I'd get my old lady to do it, and we could fucking not work. I'd be all about it.
I see a lot of that, like people broadcasting, and like their boyfriend's like kicking it, like filming his old lady, and it's like, hey, send me $20 to my PayPal or whatever.
So Matt, you're telling me you're not making a whole bunch of money doing the podcast?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
well, it's like a buck. You get a little bit of money, right?
I do, yeah. I have actually. There's a couple of very awesome people that throw a couple dollars towards it, which is fantastic.
That's great. Do you want to shout them out? Are they like sponsors?
Well, officially, yeah. So, one, my girlfriend supports podcast, so thanks. Two, I think Spencer still sponsors the podcast, but the big one is Sidoni. Actually, you know Sidoni, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a sponsor of the podcast. She's a fucking sweetheart.
Dude, that's awesome.
She just came out of nowhere, and it's like supporting the. I'm real. Previous to this, I was incredibly frugal with like my social media. It's like I don't really want people on there that I don't actually hang out with in real life.
Yeah.
And this has kind of changed that, but she just kind of came out of nowhere. It was like, hey, she added you or follows you and then donates to the podcast. And so I, talked to her back and forth a little bit, and what a sweetheart. So thanks to Donnie for repping it and supporting us. I mean me.
What a sweet lady.
Yeah.
Shout out to those who support us and make us rich. This is a very lucrative business, and we're very happy to be in it.
For some.
Thanks, everyone.
Not for me. But yeah, baby steps. Like I don't do it for money. I do it for fun, and
if not.
Money comes later on, then bonus.
So be it.
Yeah, mostly like
that Joe Rogan Spotify deal.
Oh Jesus, tits.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Whatever.
This is
a
new
long way to there, but
look what Joe has done. Joe has muted his mic
I've been doing it the whole
taking
time.
a hit. You used to never do that.
You've changed. What the fuck?
Joe's learning.
Oh, okay.
You got your jalapeno cheddar vapors or what?
I got it's like Sour Patch
Sour
Kids.
cream and onion? Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, do they make savory vape?
I don't know.
They should make a savory vape. It's a good. I think you got something there, Matt.
I want some barbecue. Give me some filet mignon vapors.
Some like an ultimate spicy chip vape.
That's a spirit.
Oh, hot chip challenge, but in a vape. I see what you mean. Oh
There you
God.
go.
Hot vape
Have
challenge.
the COVID kids test it.
Ham and cheese clouds.
Oh,
Dude, that sounds dope.
That does
I'd smoke that. I mean, it's never too late to start smoking. One of my vices I don't have, but if it came in ham and cheese or,
So
spicy
Matt,
pepperoni.
are you originally from Benicia, or did you move out there?
I was born there,
Oh my
and
God.
strangely enough, I got a studio apartment when I was 18, but after my studio apartment, I haven't been able to afford to live in my hometown since. So there's that.
Benicia is expensive.
Yeah. It's
a nice
such a
town.
beautiful. It is, isn't it? Like I'm so. I talk about this every time we have someone from Benicia. But I just love the lore of Benicia. Just like how there's just this whole crew of like rabid metalheads that just all know each other, and like all the metalheads there know each other, and it's just so cool. I love.
I
Benicia.
thought you were going back to the whore houses and booze runners, but yeah,
I
that's
don't
the
know
more
that.
recent is metalheads.
Right.
Can you give us a brief history on the whorehouses? I wasn't aware of that.
My uneducated knowledge here. So Benicia was like a port city for a long time, and it was a shit city for an incredibly long time. And it was a lot of what do you got? Speakeasies and booze runners, and then a bunch of whorehouses. That was the meat and potatoes of the town. And it wasn't that long ago that it turned around and became a nice city. So my mom was born here, and she was like 26. She's a single mom. She bought her house on East 8th Street, it's the downtown area, for like 30 or 40 grand.
Wow.
That's like 40 years ago.
Wow.
One person ago, you could afford a house. Now a shit house is $500,000. I haven't lived there in a long time. I can't even afford to rent there.
Yeah, it really puts things in perspective when you break it down to people like one person ago. It's like Jesus Christ. It's like we were so close. We could have had those sweet housing prices.
She's still around. It's not like, when it wasn't like a full person ago,
Yeah,
I
it's like
call her
half
right
a
now.
person.
Yeah. That's crazy. So, yeah, but Benicia's a cool little spot, man. We went from whore houses and booze runners to whatever it is now. It's like a really nice upper solid middle class. I don't really know what you call it. Step above me place. It's it's safe. There's like 1,000 cops. There's no crime. And then you go to Vallejo and it's the exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's I like working in a bar there for all of those reasons. It is very safe. There's very little problems, issues, or violence.
Mm-hmm.
And if something does start to go sideways, I just call the boys in blue, and like 7 of them show up in 1 minute.
They're ready. They're ready and waiting.
They show up with a helicopter and a SWAT van to ask somebody to leave.
They're excited something's actually happening.
Oh yeah. You ever meet that guy Rex?
No.
He looked like a whiter version of The Rock. He was like 9'11". He had fucking 6-packs on his whole body.
Yeah, he got beat up. He tried to fight me that night.
The cop?
No. Oh, is that the cop?
Yeah.
I was thinking about the big buff guy that got beat up by the little guy.
And then
he was
his
trying to fight
thumb
everybody.
Broke all of the way.
I think so. Was he a cop?
No, but Rex came in hot, and I was involved in his thumb breaking.
Broke his thumb?
Yeah, he was another beef-berrien looking dude. I don't know what happened, but got real mouthy and decided he wanted to get physical with a group of people. And some dude pushed him, and he fell on his thumb, and then his thumb supposed to be like this, but it went all of the other way. You know the way your thumb doesn't go? His thumb went all of that way. Yeah.
It just made the hair on my back stand up.
One of those. They're disgusting. Yeah, what do we... Tip to tip.
What was it?
Can you shed some light on this, Matt? Matt Stink chased off a crowd with a sword outside of
Joe had the
Pirate.
spoon.
And then right underneath, our good friend Nick Gomez says, I was just thinking, is this the guy with the sword?
Oh my God.
How famous is this story? Please tell us.
This is many moons ago, and there's some allegeds here, but there was some shenanigans going on with a couple different groups in town.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Anyways, so I was working, or allegedly, I was at the place called Pizza Pirate at the time, and someone throws up the back door to the kitchen, and I think it was something like, John's getting beat up. Lumberjack, I think.
Wow, John from Fog of War, for everyone.
Yeah.
For all our metalheads listening.
Yeah, that's what I was told. And there's swords all over. There's fake pistols and swords everywhere. So it's okay, well, if he's getting beat up, I'm going to go out there. And so I grabbed one of the swords off the wall, and I think I was on my way out. I don't know if somebody said it or if it was just a voice in my head. It was well, you can't go out there repping your pirate colors. You'll get the company in trouble. So I was got to take the shirt off. So I just ran out there with a sword and no shirt. And it's I didn't stab nobody. They were already on their way out or decided to leave when I went out with a sword, and some other bigger, more bearded person went out there with a 4-foot solid wooden spoon. And they made a hasty egress, but
Yeah.
not to point any elbows.
I ran out there, and actually it was one of the crazier things I've ever seen. There was a lot of people. And the first thing that popped into my mind, I yelled, "The cops are coming." I called the cops 2 minutes ago, and they're on the way. And then I actually ran back inside and called the cops. And
Smart move.
yeah, that was the first thing. And of course, I go running in, and little nunnery's at the first computer, so I had to go run it all the way over. You got Eddie going "Hey Joe, what's going on out there? It was Super Bowl Sunday, so you got all the drunk people trying to get wings. I mean, we're crazy. Is all get out, and it's busy. And we're normally not that busy on Super Bowl Sundays, but that one, it was insane.
Wow. Well, so you had a giant wooden spoon?
It was a mixing spoon. that we for a big old kettle.
No, it was a
Industrial
spoon
size
of death. It was like a 10-pound solid wood spoon. That's one of
there's
those,
Joe.
but
There's Joe with the spoon right there.
a guy named Joe.
A guy named Joe. That ain't me.
It didn't have the spoon part. It was more like
It was a
someone
paddle.
took a 2x6 and then shaved it into a stirring stick. I
Yeah,
don't know, but it was like,
we lost it a couple years ago. Or it
oh
broke.
no,
Yeah, we
Lost
still have the
it?
swords though. The swords are still on
somebody
the wall.
took it.
Well, I don't know. I
Good.
haven't been that pirate for about a year now.
See, that's what happens when you leave. The spoon goes.
Those swords weren't sharp, were they? I would hope.
No,
Okay, good.
Just for
No.
show.
yeah, they're not. They weren't built for combat, but you know, sword versus meat doesn't have to be a great sword. No, it's all for
Has
show,
to be-
anyways. I didn't cut no one.
Yeah, Matt, you worked at Pizza Pirate then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I worked there for a couple months.
Not at the time. Of
I
course.
may or
you
may
didn't.
not have been employed at the time.
Yeah. So
asking?
everybody that
Somebody in
knows,
the comments lowering up. What's where are we at?
Well, we
got
just
a
lost
ha,
Pizza
ha, ha
Pirate
in
as
the
a
comments.
sponsor.
Swizzle sticks.
Yeah, did you say we just lost Pizza Pirate as a sponsor, Joe?
Yeah.
That sucks because
It's all alleged.
if we were actually sponsored by Pizza Pirate, I would do everything I could to protect that. You know that, right? I would never ever
Too
put
late.
that in. I would never
That's what
put
we were
that in
trying to do.
danger.
We're trying to protect the joint.
Well, it's a great joint.
Family
Man.
friendly place. You can't just assault it with 2 cars full of people. It's not how it works.
I don't
see
think
that-
we've plugged any business more than we've plugged Pizza Pirate on this show, just from the sheer amount of stories that have happened.
Same
there.
thing on my podcast, dude. There's a
Yeah.
like, it was an awesome place to work because it was all of our friends working there, and it was like you go to work, make some money, but then also you were hanging out with your friends for whatever 30 hours a week, and it's just like it was a fun and interesting place, and that's
You
why there's so
definitely
many
had a-
stories come out of there.
You definitely had a social life working there,
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you wanted it or not.
right?
And it's pizza. It's fucking fun.
Also that.
Yeah.
Pizza's pretty dope.
Pizza's dope. Well, if anybody from Pizza Pirate's listening, please hook us up. We'll get that sponsorship.
Shazbot was a Pizza Pirate employee. On his last day, he dressed up like a pirate and delivered to people.
Why on his last day?
I don't know. Shazbot, you still got the video? Oh, don't
Just do that every day.
I'm
Oh, is
sure
there
he still
video?
does it. I think he brought somebody along and videotaped him delivering as a pirate.
Okay, folks, if you've got any kind of funny video that you want to send us, Shazbot included, send it to morningaftertv@gmail.com. Anything. Any silly videos that you might want us to watch. Anything incriminating that has Big Joe in it. Somebody sent us an old picture of you, Big Joe, but it's so blurry I can't share it. It's
Ooh.
a picture of you
Bigfoot.
guys out in Pizza Pirate, and you look about you look about 18 years old, Joe. You look so young.
With a
But it's
newspaper
so-
clipping.
It's so blurry. Yeah, it might have been. It's so blurry I can't even share it with you.
I think Matt's in that one too.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
When Chris Braun was still GM.
Okay,
Oh,
we'll find
dude,
it. We'll
Chris
talk about
B.
it. We'll find it after
That
the
guy.
show.
So Chris, quick story on Chris. He was like the nicest, kindest person on planet Earth, and like never yelled, never got upset. And I remember, someone came in, they got a little pizza. We made it, and they said it was wrong. We made it again. They said it was wrong. We made it a third time, and they still complained about it. And it's a little 8-inch pizza. But, we had done everything right the second time. We definitely did it right the third time. This guy was just wanted a free pizza or whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris he's steaming. He's physically upset. It's the first time I've ever seen him angry. And we would tell people, hey, goodbye, have a good night when they left. And the guy gets up to leave his table, and Chris runs up to me and he goes, listen, man, don't tell this guy to have a good night. And I was like, oh, Chris is pissed.
Good old CB, man. He
What a
was,
guy.
He was a cool dude.
Oh, I bet you could feel the silence in the room as that guy left the left the restaurant.
I used to push it because people wouldn't listen when you said anything.
Mhm.
So you go, hey, have a good night. And most people just walk out the door and they don't even look at you.
Mhm.
And then some people will, turn around and wave. So I started to it's like a little psychological experiment. Like, what can I say and get away with? So, people would leave and go, oh, I love you. And they'd go, oh, have a good night. Because they just see you waving, smiling, and then words came out of your mouth, but they're not actually listening, and it's kind of silly. It's things you can get away with. Same with answering the phones. I used to answer the phone and give out women's names, like Pizza Pirate. This is Deborah. Oh, hey, I want to get a large for delivery.
The bottom line is they don't care what your name is. They want a fucking pizza.
Exactly.
No.
I need to test people and see what they won't notice.
Go for it, dude. You can get away with a lot.
I used to do the same thing and say, Pizza Pirate, this is Courtney. Like, yeah, I need to talk to the manager. Please hold. Thank for holding. This is Joe, the manager. Different person.
Definitely not Courtney anymore. It was a wild place, man. A lot of good times came out of there.
Yeah, I love. I'm jealous of you guys. I grew up in Castro Valley, and we have our own little fun little metalhead crew, and it's sort of I always talk about this. Just I feel like we sort of had a parallel sort of scene as you guys did in Berkeley. So every time I hear these at Berkeley, Benicia, wow, it's at Berkeley.
We're not that
not
cool.
Berkeley, Benicia. But I'm always stoked to hear Benicia's stories. It's such a cool place, Matt. I saw an interesting picture on your Instagram, actually, Matt. You ride bikes, don't you?
Motorcycles.
Not, that's what I meant, of course.
Yeah, it's got to have an engine.
Not bicycles.
Correct.
Bicycles are cool too. Do you ride a bicycle?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because that was the whole question. I was just going to say, you ride motorcycles. Do you ride a bicycle?
No, they don't have motors.
What about those bicycles that do have motors?
That's acceptable. Actually, I tried to build one of those and I broke the bicycle.
There you go.
So the next step is I got a tandem bicycle and I'm putting a motor on that.
What about a unicycle?
That's too dangerous. That's where I draw the line, man. Can't do
it. All right. A little disappointed, but I feel that. I get it. I was going to ask if I could be your test dummy for it.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can ride that thing and I'll write about you in the papers.
All right.
So
tell my kids I love them.
There's no future in that, man. Don't do it.
Absolutely not.
But I bring it up because I was looking through your Instagram before the show, and I saw some excellent pictures of you in Vietnam, riding around bikes. How did you?
Oh yeah.
What made you go out to Vietnam? And motorcycles are kind of the way to go out there, right? It's what everyone drives around on.
Yes, but motorcycles is not the proper term. Well, you didn't mute yourself, Joe. So rude. What is it, jalapeno cheddar we were talking about? Anyways, that's more like scooters.
Okay.
I went out there. It was supposed to be my big vacation before I started school, which I never started. So yeah, that's me. That's the little what do I call it? The nomsicle? I don't remember. That's my Espero D-Tech. I got the flag. I got a flagpole welded on the back, and then I got a Vietnamese flag. And
that's a Honda? Is that a Honda?
No, that's a Vietnamese knockoff of a Honda.
Okay, because that wing logo. Yeah.
Yeah, they even kind of stole the wing. And that's a Honda motor design. It was a Honda Win. And now China does knockoffs, Vietnam does knockoffs, and what's the other one? Does Laos or something? They have their own knockoff of the same fucking bike. But yeah, I went out there to go ride north to south as something to do, and I'd only been dating Jennifer for a year. And it's Hue. See, I was right. I know where I was.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm gonna go out on this adventure. Do you want to go? And she goes, yeah. And I hadn't picked a place yet, and I was kind of looking around at what I can afford, and it's maybe I'll go to Iceland, or maybe I'll go to Denmark or somewhere, go see the Northern Lights, or I don't know. It's kind of picking around, looking at the globe where it'd be fun, and it was I can do a week anywhere I want, or I could do over a month in Southeast Asia.
Wow.
So I was let's go. We, tickets. Yeah, there's a little Buddha statue. It's my backpack on the side. It's my custom-made jacket I had made there in Vietnam.
You
Hell
look
yeah, dude.
Nice.
You're a traveler, man. Look at you.
Got my I got those sandals handmade out there too. The sandals were dope. Yeah, so I went out there to go travel the place, and I bought that motorcycle brand new. It's a Vietnamese knockoff of an old Honda, and it was $450 brand new.
Nice.
And
brand new.
It was worth it. I wouldn't say that I I didn't come up exceptionally. It was a garbage bike that was affordable. You know, it's like it had a Kickstarter and an electric starter. And I'm a kickstart my heart, dude. You got to have a Kickstarter, especially on a small bike, especially in Vietnam. The electric starter broke the second time I pushed the button.
Fuck that thing.
Yeah, well, I got a kickstart. And it was like, I got the 125, so I got the big block as a 125cc motor. Most people were rocking like 50s out there.
Wow.
And its top speed was probably 50 miles an hour. It's all kilometers because it's Vietnam. But I,
Still,
you know.
Not very fast.
No, but in Vietnam, like 20 miles an hour we would average 20 miles an hour on a 6-hour ride because the roads are garbage or non-existent, or there's giant potholes in them, and the potholes are full of rainwater, so they just look like a little tiny puddle, and turns out it's 2 feet deep. And it's like, it's the thing to do, but it's an absurdly dangerous place to do it. Like, motorcycling is already an inherently risky thing to do, and then you do it in a place like that where it's every stoplight is literally 100 motorcycles or more.
Wow.
It's there's lanes, but they don't mean anything. So you stick in your lane. The shoulder is the motorcycle lane, and the lane is the car lane, except for that the shoulder fills up with motorcycles, so you drive in the car lane, and that only works until they hit a pothole and they have to go into oncoming traffic. So then you've got a bus going head on at you in the motorcycle lane, which is actually the shoulder, and then past that is a swamp or a rice field or something. It's like there's no winning. It's not safe. Nothing makes any sense.
It sounds
you just
like
follow a brown guy. That's how you live.
It sounds like the rules of the road there are very similar to the rules of the road in most foreign countries, really, where they just kind of go, as long as you don't crash, everything is pretty much legal. So get out there and just try not to ruin everything.
I would exchange the word crash with die.
Die.
Yeah.
There you go.
They don't really. And I was like trying to figure it out. You know, like the light turns red and 75 motorcycles go through. You just got to follow. It's like a school of fish. You got to follow the crowd.
Wow.
And they're so bananas, dude. Like, it's an unending stream of motorcycles and cars. But if you want to cross the street, you just walk slowly and don't stop. You just walk slowly, and then everyone comes at you, and then at the last second, they just swerve around. And it's like both sides. It's bananas, dude.
Force field.
But it's hot motorcycle motors and cars and trucks and shit. And the same is true when you're trying to merge. Like, if you're trying to cross through a stream, there we go. This is my diagram of motorcycles. You just kind of go slowly, and then people just go around you. And in learning that, I got T-boned. Probably doing like 15 miles an hour or something.
Yeah.
But like we both went down, and my reaction is like get up and then go yell at the guy that just hit me because he hit me. I think, I don't know. Probably my fault. I was the white guy, and I like hit the ground, slid a little bit, immediately stood up, and then made eye contact with the guy, and he was just like riding away, like suck it. And then I looked around, and I was like, oh man, we're just surrounded by a bunch of people. Like, we don't have insurance. And it's kind of like a pay off the cops sort of system as far as I could gather.
Okay.
So it was like I picked up a couple pieces of motorcycle. Jennifer was okay. A little like braised skin. I was like, let's get out of here because I don't want to get the fuzz involved. I don't even know if they would have showed up, but
dude was gone. He's like, you're like the third person I've hit today, man. I gotta go.
Yeah, they don't, and that's it. It's you come to a stoplight and somebody hits you in the back immediately, and they bump on your side immediately. It's bananas, dude. It's absolutely unreal.
So you were there for a whole month?
Yeah, we did a week in the Philippines. We're supposed to be in the Philippines for like a day or two, and we stayed for a week, and then smashed over to Nam, and then I think it was about a month there.
How'd you like the food?
If you like Vietnamese food, it's amazing. If you want any other food, they don't have it.
Well, as far as Vietnamese food goes, did you try anything crazy? Like, well, not crazy, but unusual to Americans? Like, I know I saw Anthony Bourdain eat some coagulated blood there one time. Did you stretch your eating possibilities when you were there?
Well, yes was the plan, and yes I did, but not on purpose. Nobody speaks English, like nobody, which is all right. Like, you're in a different place, so trying to learn some Vietnamese is really, really difficult language. So I got like the basics. I got two, because there was two of us, coffee, thank you, coffee with milk, beer, and then beef and chicken. So,
Yeah.
you'd like be schmobbing down the road and there'd be a little A-frame sign and it would say Bo something. So it's beef something or ga
Right.
something or other words that I can't read. So we would try and eat the beef and chicken.
Bo is beef.
Right. Ga
Okay.
is chicken.
I now understand
Now you know.
part of the menu. Okay.
Bonga.
Fabo, dude.
Let me get the boga with
Yeah,
some queso and extra cheese.
There's
Oh.
no cheese.
All right,
Vietnam
then
does not
I'll
have cheese.
take
I
the
forgot
queso.
about that. They don't have
Dude.
cheese, dude.
Queso.
Most Asian food really doesn't. They don't have
Yeah.
much cheese at all. And now that I think about it, right?
We were like 2 weeks in, and I was like, I haven't had cheese in so long. I forgot. But yeah, anyway, so I would pull over to these places that said beef or chicken, and I think the way that it works is they just have a A-frame menu of things that they serve in general, but it's not what they serve every day. So there'd be like a list of 5 things, and I'd be like, hey, let me get the Bo this thing, and I'd point to it like a white guy. And sometimes they would go, yeah, and sometimes they would just shake their head no, and they would just bring you like a fish head with rice and vegetables because that's what they're making today. And it wasn't going to be like, no, I don't want that. I want a refund. I'm like, okay, well, here's 50 to 75 cents, and I'm going to eat it, and Jennifer will eat the rice.
Was there anything that you were just straight up repulsed by?
Some of the fish was questionable. Not in like, because the fish was all thoroughly cooked, but it's a little foreign to get like fish with tail and skin and head and eyeballs and stuff. But I like, probably the big thing is we got to Saigon, which is Ho Chi Minh City in the very south, and I thought I was eating beef. It looks like beef. It's got a big layer of fat on the back, and then we met up with this Swedish dude. Oh man, I should know his name, but I don't. But he was an awesome
where
dude.
this is going.
Spoke Vietnamese. We hung out there for a few days, and we were talking to him, and he goes, "No, the beef that with the big layer of fat on the back, that's dog." It's like, oh. So I just ordered beef, and I've been eating dog for 3 days. And he's like, "Yeah, you gotta. The main giveaway is that big layer of fat on top, and it tastes like onions and peppers and broth. It tastes like everything else."
Oh, okay.
And Jennifer doesn't like this story. She doesn't admit that that's what she was eating, but it was dog, dude.
Yeah, that sucks.
Also, there's
I wouldn't
like
I wouldn't voluntarily eat dog.
I would have. I would, I'll try mostly anything, but it's a little different when you order beef and they give you dog.
Yeah,
I don't know, close enough. Whatever.
It's a rat burger.
Yeah,
Sure.
Of course, I'm saying I would never eat dog from the viewpoint of a, American person. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I've never been forced to eat it. It's never been,
Life's good over here. Even our shitty lives are 50%
essentially, that's
income reduced COVID lives. This is rips, dude. You got
Yeah.
clean water everywhere, and they're just
In short,
unending
that was
meat
my
at the
point.
Safeway. Yeah, we got it pretty good. So there was kittens, and it was difficult because so few people spoke English. So I didn't get to pick people's brains very much, which is my only regret. But there was kittens everywhere. Like literally, you'd go into a store, like a regular, like a Quickie Mart or something, with candy bars and shit, and there'd be like kittens on the shelves. Like they're just all over the place. They're on the ground. Dude, I didn't see one cat. Not one.
just all babies.
As soon as those things get big, they disappear. Gone, dude.
That is
But it's
questionable.
one, being there long enough and understanding that it's not America and different. And it's like the whole way to sum it up is Vietnam is like, go there, don't die. Like you got to eat. And when you run out of tri-tip, what's next? When you run out of pig's feet, what's next? Well, there's kittens or cats. It's a different. They don't have it nearly as good as we do, but it's a wonderful, beautiful place. The whole country looks like Jurassic Park. It's these colossally giant, large plants, and it's warm, and it's either mountain or ocean. So it's everywhere looks like a postcard. It's fucking beautiful.
Wow.
And like when you say Vietnam in the States, everybody just goes, oh, the war and napalm and Agent Orange and all this fucked up, terrible shit that went down. But when you go to Vietnam, like I was telling people originally, I was like, oh, I'm from California, because I didn't want to say like United States. Try and narrow it down and still be honest. Nobody gave a shit. Not one person, dude. Everyone welcomes you and wants you to have fun and enjoy yourself. And there's
You
no.
mean they didn't give a shit in the sense like they didn't feel any indignance or anything, or?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay,
They
cool.
they didn't write me off, but
Yeah.
they were. They
Well,
didn't.
it's a risk, you know.
Right.
We're from America.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we were on the plane ride there when Trump was elected, or when he won the election, I guess.
Wow.
So that was another like hot topic. Like, oh, you're from the States and
Whoa.
you just elected this cran, and you guys fucking dropped napalm on our children. And I was like, yeah, that's us. Hey, I bought a motorcycle. I want to drink coffee with you guys. And they were
Yeah.
awesome. They were fantastic.
That is beautiful.
Not one person, dude.
That just makes me feel so good. That's like beautiful because we have this fear of other countries, you know, in America because they, in my opinion, I'm getting personal here, but in my opinion, they just pump us up full of fear of other countries. So we feel like America's the best. Like if you go to Mexico, they'll cut your dick off, and if you go to fucking, you know, if you go to Australia, the giant spiders will eat you. And if you fucking, you know, there's so much fear of other countries, even though we have no idea what happens. Most of us have no idea what happens in these other countries until you actually go there and sample it a bit. So I think nowadays there's more people like you, Matt. I know a couple other people that have actually traveled to Southeast Asia as well. And I think there's more people like you nowadays. And that's a good sign because people that are willing to go out there and actually sample the culture of others it's essential. Yeah. So
I think
you.
it's important, man. I think it's really important. And it changes the way that you look at things. Like, yeah, like you said, I remember being in the Philippines and talking to people, and they were horrified of Mexico. Like, and I think it's the same thing. Like, the farther you get from a place, the more the rumors escalate, you know? And I was talking to this guy, G.I. Joe is kind of the closest way to say his name. Jeej Joe. I'm actually Facebook friends with him. He's an awesome dude. We had a great time in the Philippines hanging out with him. Jeej, shout out. But, you know, talking to him, and he was like, I heard if you drive into Mexico, that's it. They just, like, you know, shoot the tires and then cut you in half and then take your wallet. And it's the other side of the planet. But it's like, dude, I just driven to Mexico the year before that. And it's, you know, you can find trouble anywhere you want to go. You don't have to leave the States for that. But
straight up.
Kind of like coming back full circle is people are people, and there's always going to be exceptions for good and shit. But, you know, especially like when you're traveling, as long as you're polite and you show interest, like most people want to welcome you into their place or their country. They want you to eat their food and drink their French style espresso over condensed milk. And it's just,
so
you know,
good.
Oh, I love it, dude.
So fucking good.
Rocket fuel.
Oh God. Well, on that note, that is a beautiful sentiment, and I'm glad that there's people like you. You're a great listener. That's one thing I noticed about hearing your podcast is how much of a good listener you are, and that's very important in the world nowadays. That we all need to be more just better listeners, and people like you that listen are willing to sample other people's culture and stuff like that. Just happy there's people like you in the world. So thank you very much, Matt. And let's talk. Is there anything you want to plug on the podcast? And we've talked about the Barcast. Let's see, the Barcast, you can check it out on, it's pretty much everywhere, right? Like Apple, Spotify.
Correct.
And I have a link down here for the Anchor FM. I'm pretty sure you can find all the outlets there. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up? Anything you want to plug?
I don't think so. It's the one thing that I want people to know about, you know? So we'll go with that.
Don't look into my history. Check out my podcast.
Give it a listen. Don't expect much. It's just interesting people chopping it up. But I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I didn't know how long this is going to go on for, but I had a good time. This is cool.
Thank you.
First time I've done a video thing. I've been thinking about doing it on my show, but I haven't. And I mean, it shows. Look how crappy my camera is. I got the Bigfoot cam.
Oh, no. No, these days, you know, just as long as you get your face out there, people want to see it.
Cool.
No, camera's not that bad. Looks good. We've had some pretty bad connections on the show. Yours is one of the best, and your audio, chef's kiss.
Boom. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that.
So, right on, Joe. Is there anything else you wanted to talk to Matt about?
I want to know if you're still doing the band Pistols at Dawn.
Oh man.
Do tell.
MySpace days, dude.
An old inside joke. You know,
yeah.
Talk about Pistols at Dawn. I was like, dude, that'd be a great band name. And I think, didn't you make a page for it too?
I started a MySpace page, yes. Yeah, it was like I had a logo that I stole from online, and I think it was like Missman was supposed to be in it. I don't remember. But it was just one of them fucking silly things that chopping it up and talking about. One of the many things you talk about and then never came to fruition. And here we are.
While working a shift at Pizza Pirate.
Yeah, 15 years later, I still don't play and haven't played any musical instruments ever. So, as far as me being in a band, it's not looking good.
I am frantically looking for Pistols at Dawn on MySpace right now. There's one
like
from Chicago.
Ooh.
Skull with a purple bandana and a couple of cross pistols.
Oh man, and this other one's just not loading up.
Tens of followers, not to brag, but
Tens of followers.
I don't
Well,
know.
this can't be the one because there's about 800 followers on
That's not
this one.
possible.
Maybe
It's
MySpace
got a
exists?
cult. It's got a cult following.
you can go look at your old MySpace page. It'll look different, but
No,
it's
thanks.
there. Yeah.
I've moved past
Yeah.
that chapter. Actually, there might. I got to look into that because do you remember when I did the 10-year-old Superman costume for Halloween?
Yeah. Oh god.
Wait,
that
what?
was the-
I love
What?
Halloween. Halloween's a great, wild and crazy time.
Oh.
And I got kind of down to the wire. I usually try and go big and make a costume or do this, that, the other thing, but I didn't. So I went to the store and I bought like literally a 10-year-old's Superman costume with like fake pecs and fake shoulders and a cape. But I'm 6'2", and so the bottom of the pants was like below my knees, and the sleeves only went partially down my arms, and it was a one-piece suit, so I couldn't close the back, but the little cape protected it. But as far as like the nether regions go, like everything was 100% visible in the. I couldn't even say skin tight because it was tighter than skin tight, blue red spandex things.
It was like a
And I
mold
think-
essentially.
Oh, it was bad, man. I had to take all my junk, tuck it down one leg, and then smash it up. Dude, the seam was like riding my ankle white all night. It was miserable. I couldn't
Superman
lift my
had super
arms.
junk.
Yeah, I couldn't lift my arms above my shoulders to get boxes or nothing. But I think the only picture that exists is going to be on MySpace. It's like I have a
Okay.
picture of me and my girlfriend Sarah at the time, and I think that's the only picture of the Superman costume that I have. And so I'll look on MySpace for that. It's a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna have my producer Dominique search for that, and then we'll put it up on our Instagram
You're a
if we can
producer?
find it. Okay, yeah, Dominique. She's a small French woman. She barely speaks any English, but she's pretty okay at running a show.
She gets the
Yeah,
job
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Oh, she's real. I thought you're like, oh, she's French. She's real, like Canadian model sort of thing.
No, real person. She's
Damn.
right here to my right.
Hi, Dominique.
But-
Shout out.
Yep.
My
she's listening.
producer is Attila.
Attila.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Oh, what kind of dog?
What's up,
Brown and
dog?
black.
Brown and black.
Yeah, come here, dude. Come on. Are you sleeping on the job here? There he is.
Oh, what a good boy.
You talking to the mic? All right. Vominous, dude. Yeah, he's the
Oh.
dog. Brown and black. I found him when he's a little dude.
I
So-
love that you just call him a brown and black dog. What kind of dog? Brown and black.
He is. They looked
It's
like
not a lie.
Yeah, they looked like German Shepherd Rottweilers when I found the batch of puppies.
He
So I
looks a
gave
little
him the name
German Shepherdy. Yeah.
Attila. I thought he was gonna be like this big, mighty creature. Nah, he's like 45 pounds. He's a little bitch.
Oh.
He's a great dog.
Well, okay. Well, hi Attila. Well, Matt, it's been super fun, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back anytime. Everybody, check out the Barcast with Matt Sting. It's available pretty much anywhere where you can get podcasts. And it's been such a great chat, Matt. Thank you so much, man.
All right, dudes.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for
Talk
having
to
me.
you soon.
Adios.
What a guy.
What a nice guy.
What a guy. What a guy, man. Sometimes we have these guests, and when they leave, all I can really say is, man, what a guy.
You know, I'd have to agree with you. That was a guy.
That was a guy. What a nice guy.
What
I don't
a
think we've
nice
ever had. Have we ever had anyone that was mean?
The pilot. Our pilot. Didn't we have a really mean guest? The one that
Oh.
didn't air?
Jordan. Oh, wait, it didn't air. Oh, that's right. The secret episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just too offensive for air. We had to scrap it.
We still got the contract, though, and here we
Yeah.
are today.
Ooh, here we go. Now we're gonna have to check this out next episode. Rando Pizza Pirate picks sent to you.
Oh, Shazbot would
Ooh.
have him.
Shazba, I think next episode we're gonna deep dive into Big Joe's past. Maybe get some Matt Sting photos in there. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. It's a
Juice.
surprise right now.
Too soon.
Too soon. It's too real, as you would say.
It's too real.
We talk. Joe and I. We talk occasionally outside of the show. We are friends. We do talk sometimes when we're not doing the show. And your catchphrase recently, it's too real. I like that you switch up your catchphrases, every few months. And this one, it's too real. It's too real. I like this one.
I have this habit. I was actually explaining this I'm working at a pizza place up here right now, and I try to say things so often to where other people will start saying them too, kind of like you brought it up. And it's from a song or a movie or no, it's from a Macklemore song, the one about riding mopeds.
Oh shit!
And anyways,
I never heard a rap song about riding mopeds.
Dude, it's called Downtown Macklemore. It's actually, the music video is awesome, and I watch it probably like 3 times a week. But my other one, what I try to get everybody else saying is "What a nice guy" and "What a sweet lady." So they make me answer the phones because I got the gift of gab, and I like talking on the phones, taking orders. Uh-huh. Every time I hang up the phone, I go, "Oh my god, what a sweet lady." Or like, "Oh my god, what a nice guy." And then I'll go on. I was like, you know what? If there was the nicest guy of the day award, that guy definitely would have won it. And I have these scripted things that I say every time, and then I hang up the phone and everyone's just looking at me like, "You gonna say it?" I go, "That was a nice guy." And they're like, "Oh,
I love
did
that.
that guy win the award?" So and then there's like catchphrases that even like Matt said, Shadzbot said, to where like my kids will say them still. Different noises that we make, like
do they even get it? Or does
they get it just because they kind of grew up in the restaurant, but like just different things, like you'll talk to our other friends, just in the Benicia circle, and just we all, but what a nice guy, or "It's too real, I don't need a windshield,"
well,
downtown.
Hey, I think if there was a nice guy award this week, we'd have to give it to Matt Sting, because that was one fun interview, flowed like water. I don't think I got much sleep last night. I gotta say, I felt a little spacey. Like at one point, I just straight up forgot what I was talking about. That was a little embarrassing. But here I'm on the air talking about it. I'm open about it. Look, I fuck up sometimes. I'd start talking and then I don't know where I'm going. I knew where I was going, but at some point during the sentence, it's gone. So besides those little embarrassing things, I had a great time with chat with Matt today.
I didn't get
everyone,
much.
Please check out his podcast. I'm sorry I interrupted, Joe, but I just want people to listen because it is a very, very fun podcast to listen to. All right. That's it.
Got it.
That's all.
But I agree. What he just said, I'm going to ×2 that.
×2, baby. Well, it's this has been a fun Friday morning. Joe, got anything special going on this weekend?
I'm doing a little traveling to the Bay Area today.
What
Actually,
for?
it's kind of funny. Well, I got to drop the little guy off in Napa. Mm-hmm. I'm stopping off to a friend's house. And from my understanding, this friend, not only has he been on Matt's podcast, but I'm pretty sure they're neighbors. So I might actually end up running into Matt later. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Oh, well, this is interesting.
I know.
Get a picture. If you can't, stay the fuck away from each other. Of course, wear a mask, but get a picture, okay?
I'm just going to go over there and see if he's eating dog and, just check out what he's doing over there. Like,
you think Matt grew a taste for it since he left Vietnam?
So, but yeah, no, and then I get to do a little driving around, and then I got to work this weekend. I have an interesting job opportunity that I'm going to be pursuing. I
can't wait to talk about with you with that. I can't wait to talk about that with you on the show if that becomes an actual.
You know what? I don't know if I get signed in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk about it.
That's interesting. So I'll just say something to the viewers. Joe has applied for a very scary fucking job. Yeah, that's all I can say. Joe is trying to do something. It's a great job, and it is a noble job, but it is very scary. So I don't know if it's something that we can even talk about. That's interesting, right?
Well, they haven't told me I can't say anything yet.
Okay.
The only thing they told me is like, just don't get caught bringing anything into the prisoners.
Okay, well, there you go. That should be a clue for everyone. I'm not going to say anything. But he did say prisoners. That's a big clue. Joe, I don't want people to think that you're going to become a prison guard, because that's definitely not what he's going to do.
Yeah, I'm too fat for that.
Because it's too. No, I don't think you are, man. I don't think you are. Have you seen some of these guys?
No, I haven't. Have you?
Well, okay. I know a guy who is a prison guard. He is very large. He's a savage in jiu-jitsu though, so he's not he's not the one to fuck with. He is the right guy to be a prison guard. But he's heavy set. If he's watching this, I'm sorry, buddy, but he's a little heavy set. But
he didn't call you fat. He said heavy set. So that's
yeah, heavy set. It's totally different. It's totally different.
Play ball.
Yeah, and I say this with full awareness that he would absolutely end my life in a second if he wanted to. So, just putting that out there. But anyway, Joe, good luck with all that. I can't wait to. Hopefully, we can talk about. Hopefully, you get the damn job and we can talk about it. They allow you to talk about it.
We'll see.
All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been Friday. It's been the morning after. It's kind of a longer show. Look at that, an hour and 40 minutes we've been at this. That's fun. Yeah, he's looking at the screen there. Yep. Right up there you can see the time. Well, we can. I don't know if our viewers can, but anyway, it's been fun. We're going to be back again next Friday. No guest, just me and Joe. We'll be chatting. Maybe we'll play a round of is that really news? Maybe there's been plenty of fake news, not fake news, but not newsworthy news. So hopefully we'll have a new version of Is That Really News for you next week. And that's about all. This has been the longest outro in the history of podcasts, broadcasts. And that's all I got to say. So for Big Joe, I'm JP. We will see you all next week right here at 10 a.m. It's been the morning after. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.